I'm Brock,
I'm Trisha,
and this is Fast Lane Living.
because life doesn't slow down.
Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Fast Lane Living.
Welcome.
Heck yeah, this week we've brought on our first guest, and our guest is a friend of mine. His name is Darren Dorn, and Darren is the president of Disabled Outdoorsmen Minnesota, and he does a lot of great things for disabled, not even just veterans, but just people in general, disabled folks. Gets them out in the woods, gets them out hunting, gets them fishing. All kinds of fun stuff that they do throughout the whole year. They do all kinds of
really
events
cool.
throughout the year. So we brought on Darren and wanted to kind of brag about our friend Darren a little bit. And then what we're going to do is, he's going to tell you about Disabled Outdoorsmen a little bit. And then Darren's kind enough to kind of explain what happened to him and what got him into a wheelchair and kind of his story there. And then we're going to end the episode with letting you know about a little event that Darren's got coming up here that we're trying to get as many people to head over to as possible. So with that, here's Darren Dorn. He's going to tell you a little bit about Disabled Outdoorsmen.
How's it going? Disabled Outdoorsman, Minnesota. It was founded in 2022 is when it actually became a legit organization with the state and whatnot. We were running under to the Texas chapter when we very first started for just a couple months. It's a passion of mine. I mean, I've been disabled for 23 years coming on now. It's 2002, so yeah, 23 years this October. But I I love the outdoors, so I like being able to get other fellow friends, family, new people that I come across. Every time I see somebody, I always say, "You like hunting and fishing?" When I see a disabled person, and they say, "Yeah," and then I always tell them about what I do and what our board does to get people out, because it's something that all of us have a passion in. It's our main goal here is to deliver an unforgettable experience that was previously not possible. Helping people take their minds off their daily struggles is what drives us to serve people and get people outdoors. But we do different hunting events, different fishing events, but it's all the type of stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to do on your own. So we have people that help out. We get people that sponsor us and donate to us to help pay for these kind of things. But it puts a smile on my face every time I talk about it because I enjoy it. And when we can see some of our participants, when they smile and they go back and tell their friends and family about us, it just means that we succeeded at what we're trying to do with helping people out.
That's amazing. I love that because, I think it's, like you said, it's something they probably thought they couldn't do anymore or ever. If, it was somebody who was born disabled, they probably thought they could never be involved in something like that. I would
That's 100.
assume, just certain disabilities.
Yep. And I do get that quite a bit too. People say, well, I can't do that. Well, I've been in the chair for 23 years. Let me show you can, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves is I hear somebody say I can't.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, I'm there. I've done it. I can prove to you you can. You just have to have the mindset to tell you, yes, you can. And that's what Disabled Outdoorsmen Minnesota is here to do. I mean, we're here to help people learn and know that they can do things that they always enjoyed prior to an accident or something that they previously didn't think they could do. But
Yeah.
that's
Oh, I love it, man.
That's so
and we
awesome.
have actually different chapters too. Is our headquarters, that's where it was actually Disabled Outdoorsman USA was created, was down in Texas, San Antonio, Texas. Weston Jenkins is the founder of Disabled Outdoorsman, and now we have chapters in Minnesota, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina. They're kind of together, and then also Utah.
Nice.
It's they all strive to do the same type of things. We do a red drum fishing trip in North Carolina. We send a couple of
Awesome.
participants to. We do a couple fishing outings. We actually have one coming up here in May, end of May. We have our very first Mille Lacs launch of the year. Get about 25 people out fishing, and you don't have to be disabled to be part of that. I mean, a disabled person can take 2, 3 family members if they want to come out.
Nice.
It's just a good time for people to get together and go fishing. I mean, everybody enjoys it. Mille Lacs is even letting people keep some fish this time. People
I know,
catch some
right?
walleyes in their time slot. They might be able to take some fish home.
You can have
Yeah,
one half of a fish.
right.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the
Let's
way that it
share.
is, but it's. I mean, it's gotten better,
Mhm.
and it's just something that everybody enjoys. Whether we catch a lot of fish or catch no fish, I mean, people they love it.
Right.
Well, I'm sure there's some good camaraderie between
Hmm.
everybody out there. I'm
Good
sure
time.
everybody meets some new friends when they're out there, especially
Oh,
like you bring family
definitely.
members.
And then you I mean sometimes you can even learn more about somebody's disability or
Yeah.
even find out something, hey, why don't we try this type of an event next time? I mean it's nice to get a group of people together like that because you tend to learn things or teach something to somebody else. So I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, right,
That's
and I can
awesome.
imagine on your daily life in your chair that maybe you learn something that makes your life a lot easier, and you can share that. Or
100%. Yep, 100%. I mean, there's different, because you get different people. Just a perfect example is Nate and I. I mean, was one of my best friends, but he's in a chair as also. Our accidents were literally months apart in the same year,
Oh,
2002. That put us both in chairs. He, Whenever time we shoot, I'm always like, why you gotta shoot like that? That's because his injury is a little bit higher than mine, so his balance is not as good as my balance. So
gotcha.
it's that the little things like that that somebody may not see. I mean, I didn't even know it for all these years, and all of a sudden, then it's like one day, me and him were talking, and it's like, wow, that little bit of a difference in your level of injury can make a huge difference in somebody.
Sure. And what their mobility
well,
is
and if you're
and
talking about
that
Yep.
type of stuff. Yeah.
stabilization,
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And
and
those
then
finer muscles.
the one thing too is with us, we got a guy that actually, I mean, Brock, you know this firsthand. Leon, the guy that had that big track chair,
yeah,
the
that
act,
like
Hmm.
the
diesel powered
timber
track
track,
chair.
yeah, the timber tracks, yeah. That guy, Leon, he helps us with getting people set up with booms. And when I say booms, what I mean by that is it's an adaptive equipment that actually goes over the top of your chair and you can hold your gun on it so you can still shoulder it,
Oh,
but it's got a weight in there to help balance it, but it literally, so for like people that have so like quads and stuff that can't physically hold it themselves,
right.
they
They
have
couldn't
that
hold up
type
the
of adaptive
weight of,
equipment.
yeah.
So
Wow.
and we actually have a couple of our members that are actually supposed to be getting fit for one for their chairs.
Nice. And so he
That's
does he
awesome.
custom make them for these people?
Yeah, he'll measure their chairs, measure them because you want to make sure you get the right height and that kind of stuff
Mhm.
for each individual because everybody's different when it comes time to that stuff. You can't just hop into a chair and say, "Oh, this boom will work for me," because it's not necessarily true. I
Right.
mean, we got some guys that they can barely move their hands, and other guys that can move their hands very well. So
Right.
Right.
it's all case by case, which we're huge. That's what we strive for. Also, is helping
Right.
people with adaptive equipment,
That's awesome. Yeah,
which you helped out with, Brock. You helped
Was
me
that the one we
get
did a
that.
couple of years ago on your chair?
Yep, that on my track chair for holding my crossbow and rifle and stuff.
Yeah, a little what do you call, like a swivel comes up, swivels out. That was a great deal.
Yeah, it you can adjust the height and everything, and it just worked out perfect.
Nice. I love being a part of stuff like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, and we appreciate it. And I mean, it's a quick on and off the chair too, so it's not like it's permanently mounted on it. You can take it off at any time and put
Right.
it
Yeah, I
back
think
on
that
as needed.
yeah,
That's key.
that was the full idea when we put that on there, is that this thing would be able to be removed and then remounted easily in a good position, same thing every time, and yeah, we nailed it. That was
Right.
awesome.
Although it is cool to have a turret, but you don't maybe
Right.
need one everywhere you go.
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you guys offer turrets?
Right.
Yeah, and on the chair too is I'm gonna bring it up is Action Track Chair. They've
Okay,
been
yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely awesome to us. They're based down in Marshall. I mean, they're actually
Okay.
a sponsor of the organization. That's
Awesome.
the tables that we have. We actually will have a table at our upcoming event here. but we've gotten a table every year from them for it. But this year is like off the charts the way that table is. It's a sweet color red with, excuse me, it's a matte black with red camo on it, and it is awesome.
Oh, cool.
I am
Nice.
so excited for that one. But no, Action Track Chair, they've been nothing but awesome to us. They help us out with, I mean, Keith Sand from Sandpines Pheasant Farm. He's actually the actual track chair dealer in Minnesota. So anytime we need service done on our chairs, we'll take it up to Avon, go see him, and he'll take care of us. I mean, he's awesome. He actually got a
What was this place?
conversion
What was
kit.
this place called again, Darren?
Sandpines Pheasant Family Farm.
Okay.
Nice.
It's in Avon. It's just north of St. Cloud. It's right off of 94.
And they service them there, or they have a whole sales facility?
He's a dealer, so I mean he
Okay.
has a couple chairs on hand,
Right.
and
Okay.
Sure.
then a lot of the times chairs are custom built to that person for sizes.
I'm sure.
So
I'm
Sure.
sure.
you would order it to your specific body build and that kind of stuff. But he's the one. So if you ordered it, you would get it from Keith, and he'd get you set up. I mean, he's helped us out numerous times. So
Yeah, and for those of you guys who've never heard of or know what we're talking about when we talk about a track chair, is they've come up with these, and I don't know, Darren, have they been out for a long time, or is this a newer kind of
God,
invention or year that they've come up with?
I don't know exactly how long Action Tractor has been around. That's actually a really good question for me to look into because it would be good for, especially for people asking. No, I don't even. Oh, right here. So, the Action Track Chair ST, which is their like base model, that's the very common model. That was actually introduced in 2009.
Okay,
So
so
now they have different
relatively new.
models. Yeah,
Yeah,
and they have
Not
different
too
models
long
now. I
ago.
have one that
right.
it's the STS model is what Nate and I have, and one of our other members, she just got. They said that she would be getting a track chair too from a organization called Track to Wing. They
Okay.
are Nancy Ansfield. She's a super awesome person, but they get a little board together, and they got these donors that
Yeah.
they pick out people throughout the whole country, and not just specifically Minnesota, but it's through the whole
Oh
country
wow.
that they'll pick people after you fill out an application and stuff to see if you're granted a track chair or not. So I thought that was
Nice.
Awesome.
pretty slick for that because
Yeah.
this would be the fourth. So I got mine 4.5 years ago, maybe more. I don't remember. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. But I helped Nate with his, wrote letter of recommendation, and he helped the gal that just got granted one. And then we have another member, Brian, that got granted one also. So we have four members that have all
Oh,
been granted track chairs now.
that's amazing. That's so cool. I love that.
So
Yeah.
explain this track chair in a little more
Yeah.
detail and what it does
So
for you.
Yeah.
uh, what it does is it makes you independent. It for
Yeah.
somebody,
Right.
I mean,
That's
it really
it.
does. I mean,
Yeah.
if I go out in my manual chair and I go rolling around, it's I can get around pretty decent when it's normal hard grounds and stuff. But when you start
Right.
going up hills, down hills, cross country that you're not used to, it makes it
Right.
tough. Having these track chairs, it is a life changer. My very first time using it, I went over to Twin Lakes. They have a park over there, and they got hills. And I remember just looking at my dog's face, looking at Max's face when we were going up and down hills. He just looked at me like, "This is so awesome."
What
I've never
are we
seen you,
doing,
because
Dad? What are we doing?
he's always used to
Yeah.
seeing me out just on flat grounds and stuff where we're going up and down hills. He's running alongside of me. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I mean, they are very slow, but safety reasons, I got to keep them slow.
Right.
But I think it goes maybe 2.3 or 2.5 miles an hour. But they can tune it up a little bit. Our chairs do have lithium batteries in it, Amped Outdoors
Okay.
lithium batteries, which Matt at Amped Outdoors is freaking awesome. Just so you guys know, if you guys ever
Yeah.
need lithium batteries from Amped Outdoors, check them out. They're right in Hudson, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know. Lithium batteries,
So,
right? Yeah,
but
we're out
yeah,
there
they
making lithiums.
10 year warranty on a battery instead of a 1 year warranty on an AGM battery and
Nice.
half the weight. Sign me
Right.
up.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
because those batteries are a big deal, right? I mean, they're not cheap. It's not like going to the store and buying some Duracells, some double A's, right? It's,
Correct. I mean, they're very expensive, and you get about, it all depends on the terrain, but
right.
if like a flat terrain, you'd probably get 7 to 10 miles on one charge. On more stuff, you'd probably get probably 5 to 7. But with these lithium batteries, you'll get double that. And I haven't
Wow.
even I we just put the batteries in back in February, so I haven't even put them to their full potential yet. So
Nice.
we'll
That's
find out how that
awesome.
goes now that it's nice
Yeah.
outside.
Right now that we can get outside, how do they do in the winter? Do they struggle a little more? Do they get a little
They
slippy in the snow or?
No, and actually,
Yeah.
being that we had an ice fishing event with Clam out on East Rush, and that was like one of the very first times I used the batteries, and I literally felt like I was floating through the snow with those
Nice.
with how just the weight difference between those AGMs and those lithiums. It's
Oh, I
insane.
suppose. Yeah.
But the cold weather definitely affects the lithium battery more than
Sure.
like an AGM. So if you can keep them at good operating temperature, they'll last forever. But if you
Yeah.
and when they're not being used, it's always plugged in because it's on like a tender type battery, so it's not, or battery charger, so you're not overcharging the battery.
So explain the look of one of these chairs, because so far I've not heard. These chairs are very unique in the way they
Yeah.
look and what they do. And so far, I think some listeners might be thinking that this is just like an electric wheelchair that somehow you're taking off road or maybe through the snow. But like, explain the look of this thing.
So here's
There you
Oh,
go.
there it is.
For the
Yeah.
that's
listeners, look at that thing and describe it.
Right.
yeah, that's the Axis. That one's their newest model, which is probably their fastest model because that actually goes like 4.5 miles an hour.
Ooh.
But they have
Okay.
different models. I mean, this is like similar to the model that I have, but
So,
they're literally
so
Bobcat
you're looking at a nice
tracks.
comfy chair with some tracks on each side of it,
Yeah.
kind of in a
Oh yeah,
triangular fashion.
Right.
And these things
yeah,
are
and
able to
it's
go
a
over anything.
joystick just like a normal chair, but I mean the tracks they go differently. So I mean if you turn, I mean one track's going faster than the other and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
they're awesome. I mean, like I said, they're definitely a life changer. If for somebody that depends on a chair where you can't walk at all, they're definitely a life changer.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it was like trying to get out into, especially like, with hunting and fishing and or like wooded areas. And, gosh, forbid you would have to want to get off the path for a minute.
Yep,
It was
exactly.
just very difficult without
That and
that.
like going up to my grandparents' cabin up north, my stepdad and my uncle would always have to push me up the hill or pull me or
Oh,
bring me down the hill because it was so steep at the
yeah.
cabin. So it was like always having to get a running start and push me up the hill or pull me down the hill. I mean, at
Yeah.
one point, they literally had me drive the vehicle down the hill, park, get out, be down by the lake and stuff, and then get back in the vehicle and go drive back up the
Drive
hill.
back up the
Did
hill.
they ever just let you go right into the lake?
They wanted to a few times,
Few times.
but you just didn't want to
For
ever make
sure.
them angry when they were pushing you or pulling you because
You
then
were
you're in
kind of
their
at their
hands and you
mercy,
can't control it.
Right. You're
right?
just like, did I ever tell you how great you are?
All great things. Yeah, those track chairs are amazing. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, that is incredible.
Yep,
Like
it's
you
like
said,
a
the independence it allows you to have um, versus a regular, manual chair, even a regular
So,
electric chair, I think, right? It still
well,
has a
yeah, I
ton more
mean, it's
independence.
even electric chair. They still get around, but they still have their struggles in areas. But I mean,
Right.
this thing when I can literally get out of the vehicle and go climb a pretty steep hill, I mean it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
right.
that's really cool. That's
We
awesome.
we were all born to travel the woods, but forced to reset passwords.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly. It's all we do here for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, awesome, Derek. Do you, would you mind sharing a little bit about, your story? I know you said you've been in the chair since 2002, and was it an accident or, what happened, if you don't mind?
It was a single car accident, 2002, it was October 28th. I was on my way home, and it's about 3 miles away from home. I was actually right over by your guys' house, right by the railroad tracks. A deer head came out, and I didn't want to ruin nice fancy pickup after high school. So, what's your first instinct when you see a deer? You swerve. I mean, everybody tells you just hit the brakes or hit it. It's always a lot easier said than done.
Yes.
Yeah, guys like their
Yeah.
trucks, man.
Right.
Yep. But
Yeah.
when I went into the when I went down into the ditch, when I tried coming back out, I hit a driveway embankment, and it actually flipped the truck, threw me out of it, and severed my spinal cord at that time. And I literally woke up in a hospital to a surgeon telling me I was never going to walk again. So it wasn't the
Yeah.
best of things to wake up to. I mean, I woke up and I obviously sad, crying. I mean, because you're upset because of what you just got told and you couldn't believe it. But I had a rough couple years where I was like,
Yeah.
this really sucks. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna live my life.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, I had a lot of bad thoughts go through my head, and then all of a sudden, it was like a switch went off one day and says, Darren, you can do whatever you want. You're just doing it on four wheels now.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's like I try to share that story with as many people as I can because it's not easy. And I still, to this day, I have moments when it's tough, but we make do with what we got. That's for sure. I don't even. I kind of
Yeah.
lost track of where I was going with that, but
No problem.
no.
That's
So I
okay,
mean,
buddy.
and
Yeah.
That's a lot to
I mean,
wake
I
up to, man.
always, yeah, and I did a lot of hunting and fishing. I mean, my dad brought me up with deer hunting. I did that, but and my stepdad introduced me into waterfall hunting, and then it game over after he introduced me into that.
Yeah.
That's
Very likey.
that
Right?
that's my jam. So I definitely
Yeah.
a big thank you to my stepdad Mike on that one because if it wasn't for him introducing it to me when I was young, I mean I may have never got to experience it.
Yeah, I
Right.
think
But
when it comes to any kind of hunting, it's usually somebody's introducing you to it, and definitely be
yep,
thankful for that.
Right. Yeah. So how long was it kind of before you were like, hey, I can figure out how to hunt and fish again? Like, I don't have to just not do that anymore. Was that right away or was that something that took longer?
it took a little while because I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like I said, I went through like some rough times where it was
Right.
tough, but then it was like, you know what? I can still do all the same stuff I used to do. I'm just doing it this way now. And then I joined an organization that used to be a part of, and that's why all disabled outdoorsmen started is because
Yeah.
I wanted to do different stuff and I brought friends and other people that were part of the other organization. I brought them over with me, and we created Disabled Outdoorsmen. But
Yeah.
it's a little bit of help. You can do whatever you want,
Yep.
and I stand true to that to this day, no matter what. Anytime anybody says anything about I can't or how did you do that, well, we're here. We're gonna show you.
Right. I love it.
That's awesome.
That's a great attitude. Because you're
Yeah.
right, man. I think you
You
can do
you
anything you
have
set
to
your mind to.
because you definitely
Right.
have bad times, so it's you have to have a positive attitude.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, obviously, rightfully so, that's such a huge dramatic change of your life, right? You have to, all the plans you made are now
Changed.
changed. Everything,
Yep.
everything that you kind of thought was changed in an instant, like you said, when you wake up to something like that. So rightfully so, you can't expect anybody to just like jump out of bed, I think, and be like, yay, let's go get at this, right? That's
Yep.
everybody's got to take their time to kind of grieve that, I'm sure, and
Well,
work
yeah, and
through that.
they had me. I was at Abbott Northwestern down in off of Hiawatha.
Yeah.
I was born at Mercy Hospital. Was there for 7 days when I was born, and then when I got in this accident, I was actually at Mercy Hospital for 7 days.
Right
And
back
then
to it, huh? Yeah.
they transferred me down to Abbott Northwestern. I was down there for about 2 months, and that
Okay.
was learning the whole wheelchair life.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And at that time, I mean, my dad we were both working at the lumber yard at that time, Rum River Lumber, and he had to convert the house. I mean, he had to change things in the house
Yeah.
to make it accessible. So they had to put a ramp in because it was a modified 2-story. So it wasn't like it was easy to. I mean, I literally got my bedroom was on the main floor right by the garage. So I didn't have any steps or anything to get into the house. He
Right.
redid the bathroom so it was accessible for me.
Hmm.
Put a ramp in the living room so I could at least get up into the kitchen and dining room area and then go out on the deck and that kind of stuff. But he had to do all that conversion stuff, and it's easy, but it's not easy
Right.
because you have to follow codes and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's definitely a lot of work, and we actually. If anybody ever needs work done on a house like that to be converted, I mean, any kind of work, especially when it comes time to the wheelchair stuff, or not even wheelchair stuff. I mean, walkers, any kind of mobility needs,
Right. Any kind of accessibility. Yeah.
get a hold of Ryan Teppo with Worry Free Mobilities right in Ramsey.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay.
He's one of our biggest sponsors for the organization. So it's
That's awesome.
any kind of business we can send towards him. I know he'd appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll include all these links down in the comments for everybody so that they
Perfect.
can, grab these resources and stuff later too, if they're out there and in
Yep.
any kind of need for that.
Yeah, we're
For
definitely all
sure.
about referrals. If
Yeah.
somebody's got a good business they love, we're happy to referral it and hear the referrals. So definitely, that's a great one.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Because if something like that happens, right, you don't plan any of this stuff.
Nobody
It's like
plans it.
accidents on the road. Nobody plans any of this stuff, and
Hmm.
you got to deal with it,
No,
right?
you're
Well, all of a sudden,
100% correct on that. And you got to live life to the fullest because tomorrow's never promised.
right?
Yeah.
That's
So
very important.
I used to be I mean, I was a little a-hole when I was 18 years old. And then all of a sudden, one major thing gets taken away from you. And it's like, you really become very thankful of the things you have. So it's like, another thing I look at too is don't ever take anything for granted because you never know. And
Yeah, nothing's
that's kind of
guaranteed.
why I am the way that I am now is because it's like, I, you never know. You
No, I
never
think it's
know.
important to just take a second and do. You don't take everything for granted, right? Because
Right.
we've got water, we've got heat, we've got AC, we've got plumbing,
Yeah.
all this stuff, right? But take a
Yep.
second and realize, like, in just mobility, life, like
Right.
everything,
Yeah.
it's all doesn't need to be there, but it's there.
It's
And
there, right.
I'm definitely
Yep.
thankful for the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's easy to find things to complain about if you want to, right? You have to actually kind of I think it's you have to make a point to go, you know what, I'm not gonna do that and I'm gonna be thankful for, the simple things that we do take for granted every day, like just
Correct.
waking up and doing those things. I know that's always been something that's always been inspirational to me about you is every time I've ever been in a room or around you, you're always a positive person. No matter what the situation is, like even if something kind of, is stressful or crazy, like you're like, "Hey, it's cool. We'll deal with it." And I think that's an amazing quality, and especially to see it sure is like, hey, there's no complaining coming out of my mouth, right?
Yep, and I've
Which is
seen
And
great. I
then
think that is amazing. That's perfect.
I mean,
So,
I got a great sidekick with me. I mean, she'll be my wife one of these
yeah,
days. But Sarah,
Sarah.
she's definitely my rock and keeps me positive. So
nice,
she
your
helps out a lot
fiance.
with that.
Yeah, Sarah's
Yeah,
great.
Sarah's
We
awesome.
like Sarah. Darren, I've been to a few events with you, and I always have a really good time being around you guys. It's easy to do. You guys keep the
Right.
atmosphere light and chill, and um, yeah, it's just a
It's
good
always
time. And
good.
then to see you and Sarah interact together, you guys really complete each other. So
I appreciate
it's
that.
nice.
Yeah,
Yep. She kind of
yeah.
whips you around, bud.
I like it.
She kind of takes
It
control.
keeps me in check. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I like it.
Right.
I like
She
it.
lets me go
For
hunting and
sure.
fishing when I want to, and we obviously still do stuff together and that kind of stuff. But
Right.
I mean, she likes shooting. She she's not a big fisherman, but when it's time that she can go fishing, she'll go fishing with me.
Yeah.
But I definitely got her to go shooting, and I'm gonna say this because I mean it's even being recorded, so I'm in trouble. But she shot better than me at the Sporting Clays event last year.
Oh,
Oh, well, at least
So
you get another
I just
year
gave
though.
her that credit. You guys heard it. I gave her that credit. She shot better than me.
I feel a rematch coming on
I
at this
do.
Sporting Clays
I
event
think
this
there is
year.
a rematch. Oh boy.
Hey, Darren, I'll be honest with you. Trish outshoots me every time.
Not
And it honestly though, I think it might be. I think it's a woman thing.
I
They're
think it
like
is.
here,
born
but
to be able to shoot
he's
better than
better in the
us.
bow. He's better with
Because
the bow.
my mom
So,
is a great shooter too. I mean, she shoots awesome. Yeah, we all have our moments on where we
right.
have problems shooting, but I mean, she's a pretty good shooter.
We had a guy once tell us that it's because what did he say? Women are just more we tend to be more like stable, like or more less like shaky or
Hmm.
I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but
Yeah, women are usually more stable.
yeah, we're more stable. We're the
Don't
we'll
say
go with
anything,
that.
They're
Darren.
yeah, they're
Darren's like, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
You're trying to get married, right?
Right.
yeah. What are you
For
No, I
talking
love
about?
sure.
it,
I'm more
man. No, you
stable than all you guys. I'm on four wheels.
nice.
Exactly
It's got
right.
4 points of
With
contact.
4 points contact going on.
That's fast lane living, buddy.
Right. For sure.
No, you guys are great. It's
Yeah.
good to know you guys, be friends with you guys,
For
and
sure.
definitely spend some time with
Hmm.
you guys. I know you guys were over for a little car get together we had last year.
Nice.
Yeah, just all around, we really appreciate you guys.
Right. I'm sporting my disabled outdoorsman shirt.
Yep.
So I like the
I
shirt. It's
seen
the best.
that. I don't even have
Yeah.
one on today.
That's all right. It kind of looks like it. You don't know.
So let me ask you this, Darren. When let's say you were to take a group fishing, right, and you got a handful of people in chairs, how
Hmm.
do you get the chair from the dock into the boat?
Great question.
Like a
Um,
running start,
Probably not.
and then one of
that's
those
well,
throwables
that I
that
mean
kind of
that's the
like just in
fastest
case.
way.
That's the
Um,
fastest way.
We got to get out
yeah, it's
there.
the
They're biting.
fastest way. So, I mean, that's why we do the launches, is because they make it very easy. They got these launches. They got sea legs, so they literally
Oh,
can
sure.
lift up
Oh,
one side of
stable.
the boat, so it makes it level with the dock. And
Gotcha.
the guys up at Nitty's, up at Hunter's Point on Mille Lacs, they have a piece of wood that they put on the boat, and on it sits on the dock, but it locks onto the boat, and then you just wheel across right onto it. And then whenever they get everybody on board, they raise the sea legs up so the boat's sitting normal,
On the
and
water.
then they latch the
That's
door and
cool.
that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And if it's going into a boat's a little different because I mean, obviously, different people are different with their how they transfer and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But a perfect example is Mike, my stepdad. He made these two ramps that are even with the sidewalls of the inside of his boat. He's got aluminum craft,
Okay.
and he'll tie the boat off to each side of the or on the front and the back. He'll hold it to the dock and then pop me into a wheelie, and either my mom will sit in front, or if somebody else is around, they'll sit up in front just to make sure I don't tip forward. But then
Sure.
it's more or less like a dolly going down the steps, and you just roll up and roll right down the ramp at me in, and he has one of the chairs missing, and off we go.
Nice.
And
Don't you
then
think
it's
it'd be
just a
easier if you had one of those little
reverse.
kids slides and then you just like went up a ramp and he tipped you into the slide and then you just kind of like went around in a corkscrew fashion into the boat? Don't you think that'd be easier?
Yeah,
It might be more
I mean,
entertaining, a little funner.
it would be. But they also, Minnesota's actually working on with the DNR. Some boat landings actually have a lift,
Oh,
and
that's
it is
great.
literally you roll up to it and you attach it to each side of your chair, and it's literally like an engine hoist where you can jack it up a little bit so you're swinging on it. They swing it out over the boat and drop you down into the boat,
Nice.
and I mean, that's probably one of the easiest ways. I did
Right?
that up at Rainy River. There was a landing there that had one of those there, and it actually worked pretty slick.
Yeah, that seems pretty nice. That's kind of like the one that is in the pools at the hotel where I would allow you
Yep,
to get into the pool like that.
I mean exactly like that, but this one actually, instead of you transferring onto it because you're going into like the water, it just has hooks on it, and you literally just hook each side of the chair so it holds it, and then you just hang on to the cables or the chain while it lifts you up and sets you down.
Nice.
And then once you're in the boat, you unhook it and off you go.
So you've seen that in Minnesota, or where have you seen that?
Nate and Dean, when I say Nate and Dean, they're both guys that are board members for Disabled Outdoorsmen Minnesota, and also very close friends of mine. They have been working with the DNR, and I say they because it's not me, it's those guys doing that work, which they do outstanding work with the DNR. They meet with U.S. Fish and Wildlife to make things more accessible for the physically disabled,
Nice.
whether it's a disabled veteran or just civilian disabled. I mean, we service all disabled people, physically disabled people.
No lines are drawn.
Right, no lines are drawn.
I like it. No, you guys do a good thing there, man.
Yeah, it's a really cool. I think it's amazing. I know when I first heard about it, I was like, it's a really cool thing. I just think like the whole idea of getting them out there when it's something that previously likely something they weren't either going to do on their own or think that they couldn't do it, and be able to have a resource to help them out to get out there is just super awesome.
Yep.
So Darren, I got a question for you.
What's that?
Do you have a bucket list hunt that you want to complete?
If I got one hunt one hunt, or can I tell you two hunts?
You can tell me two. You can tell me as many as you want, buddy.
I mean, I would love to be able to go to like Alaska and go on a waterfall hunt. It'd be awesome to shoot an eider or something like that out there. A giant freaking elk, man. If I could get out on like a big old elk hunt out west, those would be like prime hunts that I would like forever be talking about. I'd probably talk about them forever.
Right.
But no, I mean, there's all kinds of different types of hunts that would be fun. I mean, going to Alaska, waterfall hunting would be absolutely freaking amazing. And then to go out west somewhere and shoot a big old bull elk would be awesome.
Right, that would be pretty cool, man. Elk hunting seems pretty wild.
Oh yeah, and I got a buddy that hit a freaking moose up in northern Minnesota. With the thing literally came at the front end of his Suburban, and he did everything he could to avoid it without crashing, and it literally took out the side of the Suburban, and then took out the whole side of his trailer where he had a side by side sitting.
Oh man.
Yeah, they're no joke. They're pretty, and they can be pretty, especially the males can be pretty aggressive in those.
Yeah, I've had
Sorry about that.
I've had my dad tell me that they would actually charge the semi. You would come to a stop in the road, and then it would be up opposing you, and it would start charging the semi, and you'd ram his horns right into the grill.
And that's exactly what it did. Is it charged at the front end of the vehicle? So he's like, "Well, I gotta like slam on the brakes and move over to the miss the left side of the lane." And it just it literally. I don't know what he did, but he did something to. And then he was going 65 miles an hour, and this thing was charging right at the front end of the vehicle. So for him to be able to have the mind. Go ahead.
Did you tell him not to swerve?
No, he said he didn't really do it like swerve. He just moved over so it won't hit head on.
Well, when you got a trailer too, and it's like you're not doing big swerves.
No.
Yeah.
They can be pretty nasty from time to time.
He got to keep the meat though.
He did.
Yeah, they let him keep it.
I bet you that's quite a bit.
I would think so.
He got quite a bit out of it.
Wow. So did it total his truck out?
No, that's the thing. Is it literally ripped off the mirror, dented up the passenger side door a little bit, and then I don't think it did anything else to the actual Suburban. And then the trailer was one of those aluminum trailers for ATVs, UTVs. So it has the side loading gate and then the rear loading gate. Yep. And it ripped off part of the side loading gate and then like peeled the fender back on that one side of the trailer. Didn't do anything to the side by side or anything. So it was oh wow. But it killed it, and I was like, you got lucky, man. That could have been way worse.
Way worse. Head on with that thing would have been the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that would have been
Oh yeah,
Like
I
awful.
mean
it
it would have been
charging and hitting head
terrifying,
on. Oh,
For sure.
that's awful.
Would have been terrible.
Yep. Well, those two sound like great ones. You said
Yeah.
you probably have a whole bunch more, but we're not going to
Right.
make you keep
Right.
listing them off. But those
Right.
sound great, man. Alaska sounds like it'd be great just to go up there for any reason.
I know.
right?
At
Yeah,
first, I thought you said a waterfall hunt. I'm like, yeah, I bet you they have some great waterfalls.
my buddy Chad went to Kodiak Island 2 years ago with his brother to try to. They went deer hunting for a Sitka deer is what it's called out there.
Yeah.
He got to see a couple. He seen one big old grizzly bear that was just. It was literally walking through the water, chasing after fish, trying to catch fish, trying to eat. Never bothered
Yeah.
with them or anything, but he showed me a video of it, and that was pretty awesome.
Do you know how grizzlies catch fish?
I don't. I mean, obviously, with their big old freaking mitts that they have.
Trisha, how do grizzlies catch fish?
With their bare hands.
She was just waiting, and you were trying to answer it. I was like, oh, she's got
It's
something
like
for
one of
you.
my favorites.
When I felt
Perfect.
something coming up on that when she said that, I was like, oh, she's got some kind of a joke.
So you have, well, I shouldn't say you, but Disabled Outdoorsmen organization have a pretty cool event coming up here in, what is it now? What, couple, 3, 4
It's
weeks?
2.5 weeks actually. It's
2.5
May
weeks.
17th. It's
Nice.
our third annual Sporting Clays fundraising event. It's our yearly banquet. Because I mean, I asked a few different people. I've asked a few of our board members, and they've asked people if we want to do just strictly a banquet, or if we wanted to have it the way we have it, to where we can make it fun. Also, do
Yeah.
shooting and have the banquet all mixed together. So everybody always said that they like shooting and having it that way. So we do it up at Wings North, up in Pine City. It's Chad Hughes, the owner of Wings North. Hands down, probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your entire life. He would take the shirt off of his back for anybody. That's just the
Oh,
type of person he is. He's always a huge supporter of disabled outdoorsmen. But anytime you have any kind of, you want to go pheasant hunting, you want to go working with your dog for training, you want to go shoot chuckers, any of that kind of stuff, check out Wings North. I mean, you will not be disappointed with those guys. They got an awesome grill. You can do different type of shooting there. They have pistol range, they got rifle range. You can do trap shooting. You can do sporting clays, which that's what we're doing at our event, is sporting clays. And then they also have a thing called a European shoot. For those that don't know what a European shoot is you big giant circle. It's got a tower in the middle of it, and you have stations around the whole big circle. And they release birds, pheasants, chuckers, pigeons, however many birds that you pay for. They have you go to different stations, and they literally rotate you through this whole thing until all the birds are gone. Now let me tell you, I've done a bunch of different types of shooting, and that European shoot's freaking awesome. And
yeah.
everybody always smiling. I mean, I think there's a lot more shotgun shells that are shot than what need to be shot, but I think it's just because people are having fun. But
Sure.
back, I mean, any of your needs for that kind of stuff, I mean, check out Chad with Wings North, and he'll take care of you. But anyway, back to our event. It's our third year doing this. We take on donations to help raise money. So, I mean, we're doing raffle items, silent auction. We got, I think we'll have 5 or 6 guns that we'll be raffling off there this year. A couple pistols, rifle, couple shotguns. It's $75 a person. That includes a round of sporting clays and lunch, and then the donation to the organization. If you don't want to shoot, but you still want the lunch and still come, that's $30. Registration can all be done online at our website, and you guys have the website, so I don't have to try to spell it all out because it's kind of long. Sometimes people are like, "What's that website again?" But
Yeah, we'll throw it up on the screen for everybody, and then we'll also have it in the comments for everybody as well to be able to
perfect.
get to it. Yeah, no problem.
And I mean, if there's anybody that, I mean, you can be a sponsor of the organization. We have different tiers of sponsorship, and what the different levels are. It's you got your bronze, which is 250. That gets you into a drawing for a chance to win a gun at the event. I mean, our sponsors, we do a special drawing for sponsors for a gun. Bronze level gets you one chance, silver gets you two chances, gold will get you three, and then silver is $500, $1,000 sponsor, and then you have your platinum, which is $2,500, and that gets you five chances at winning a shotgun. But
Are you still accepting sponsors for that up
yes,
until the
we'll. I
show?
mean, we'll take sponsorship and stuff right up until a couple days before, because I have one of our sponsors, a Lager over in Arden Hills. They print our signs and make our sponsor signs for us.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to be able to get those signs out and stuff for them. So,
Yeah.
Or even
yeah.
if you just want to donate, let's say you got a case of shells or something, or you got a blanket that you think would be good for a raffle or silent auction item. I mean, any
Yep.
kind of a donation that way helps out huge, because
Yep. I
it
remember
helps
the silent
us.
auction was awesome last year.
Yeah.
Yep, and I don't know if we're not going to have as many items, but I know we're going to have better quality items. 'Cause
Gotcha.
we got that table from Track Chair. It sounds like Fleet Farm actually just gave some gift cards to us.
Nice.
We got
Everybody likes.
Sweet Farm, right?
Yeah, everybody loves Fleet Farm, but we got Rig 'em Right. They're one of our big sponsors. They're sending stuff to us. Sitka Gear
Nice.
actually is our first year having them be a sponsor. We got a pheasant shoot from. I mean, I'm pretty sure Chad's giving us one from Wings North, but we're getting a pheasant shoot from Sandpines.
Nice.
So we got a handful of stuff for raffling off or silent auction off, but the big thing is obviously the guns and winning the prizes. But
Yeah.
you got to check it out. It helps us raise money for our mission and of getting people out, because we like these hunting and fishing events because we like making these big memories for people.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, like, for somebody who wants to come out, what's that day going to look like for them? If they want to come out and shoot and do the whole thing.
Yep. Especially someone that hasn't been there before.
It's check-ins in between 9 and 10 a.m. You just check in. You'll come up to the front entrance because he's got a huge tent next to the actual building. But that's where you'll see the signs and that kind of stuff. But everybody will check in there. You can check out our raffle items, and we'll have a 50-50 and that kind of stuff for people. Once you get checked in, there will be a safety speech at approximately, I think it's 10:45. Chad, the owner of Wings North, will actually do a safety speech about safety of shooting,
Oh, always.
making
Yep.
sure because that's huge. You want to make sure everybody's always safe. We don't need no
Absolutely.
injuries or anything. You'll go around, you'll shoot your 50 rounds of clays, but it's 10 stations, 5 clays at each station for a total of 50 shells. Federal Ammunition is a big time sponsor of us, and we have a bunch of trap loads, 12 gauge only, that they're there for anybody to use. And
Awesome.
it's a donation at will, so it's not like we're saying, oh, you have to buy them, because it's just a
Sure.
donation.
Okay.
And then after we shoot, we eat lunch, and then we'll do a little brief announcement, just pretty much thanking everybody, doing a little bit of prize stuff for shooter, top team, that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
then we'll start doing drawings and that kind of stuff for people that bought raffle tickets or did silent auction. We'll list all that stuff off. Usually try to get people out of there about 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock. So it's an all day type of thing, but it's definitely worth it, and it is a great time.
Yep.
Yeah. It is a ton of fun. And you get food, right? I don't, might have missed
Get
it.
Oh
food.
yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think we're
You get
gonna
that.
do a burger bar this year. I think that's what we did last year, but I think that's what it's easy.
Yeah.
It's something that everybody likes a burger.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was we came, I know Brock and I came out last year and volunteered and helped out. And it was such a fun event. Even, we didn't shoot. I know we were talking about maybe trying to shoot this year. We'll see. But we'll definitely be out there no matter what. And yeah, it was such a fun event last year. And for the first time, I'm not experienced in shotgun at all. In fact, full disclosure, I've never actually fired a shotgun. So we'll see what happens there. But so it was just a really cool new experience. And even for somebody that's never done it, has no idea, like it was super cool to be out there, see what it's all about, check out the organization. Just amazing people too. Like it's such a cool crowd of people to be around. And it's a great group that you guys got over there. So we always enjoy our time when we're with you guys for sure.
Yep, fully agreed. So
Awesome.
yeah, pretty much you got to bring yourself your own 12 gauge shotgun and sign up online ahead of time. Where was that registration at?
The registration is it's at our website.
On their website.
Will you just say it out loud and then we'll also include it down
Yep.
there?
It's Disabled Outdoorsman, the MEN.net is the website. And that'll bring you, there's the spot on there. If you wanted to do the sponsorship, you could do the sponsorship. You
Perfect.
can register for the clays and the lunch, or you can register for just the lunch.
Okay,
So it's
Awesome.
either way, it's available online.
sounds
And if you
good.
don't want to do it online that way, you're always welcome to do it via Venmo, which is just you look up Disabled Outdoorsman Minnesota for Venmo, and that's how you can pay that way also. But
Okay.
easiest way is just to go on the website.
And if you were looking to be a sponsor, that would be on the website as well?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Or my phone number and stuff's on the website too, so you can get a hold of me. It's probably the easiest to just get a hold of me that way, and I can send anybody any information that they might be needing if they can't find it.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Would you have room for Wallaway and B-Rocks to sponsor you?
We would definitely have room for that. I would just need a double logo sent to my email so I can get it on a board.
Yeah, of
Sounds
course.
good.
No
We'll do
problem
that
for
on the
sure.
16th.
Yeah.
Just
Just
kidding.
kidding. We won't do that to you.
We'll
For
get that to
sure.
you.
So if somebody like me wanted to come out who had never shot before, at least a shotgun or even maybe nothing, I don't know, and they wanted to come out and give it a shot and they were able to, they got to supply their own weapon or their own shotgun. Is this an appropriate event for them? Can they come out and get some instruction and have a good time?
Oh, for sure. There's so many people out there that are. You get a lot of guys that are in sporting clay leagues
Yeah.
that come out to these type of events. There'll be plenty of people around to be like, hey, you should be holding the gun like this when you're shooting, and make sure you're always pointing it this way. And
Right.
it's there's there's more. There'll be more than enough people around to say, hey, this is what you should be doing, or suggest doing. 'Cause, obviously,
Help you out.
people
Yeah.
have their own comfort levels of how they're shooting and that stuff. And people that have never shot a shotgun before, it might be nice to get familiar with handling a shotgun prior to coming to the
Yes,
event,
of
because
course.
it is kind of fast paced.
Right.
It's not like just hanging out plinking. You're still
Right.
plinking, but you're doing it with a 12 gauge shotgun.
And there's
Right.
people waiting, there's
Yeah,
there's people
right.
going through there.
Yep, yep. Because you move through like it's like stations, right? And then
Yep.
each person goes through about how many people are on a team?
There was 5 people per team, and you each shoot. So there's two. There's when you go up and shoot, you're doing it all 5 times. So your first shot will be a single, and then the second 2 shots will be pairs. So
Okay,
you'll say pull, you'll shoot once, put 2 shotgun shells in your gun, say pull, you'll shoot the first target, and as soon as you pull the trigger, that second target's already coming out, and then you'll have the other one to shoot.
gotcha.
So that's the way that it worked for the five rounds at each station.
Got
And
it.
And
then
that kind of describes sporting clays, right? Okay. Because there's different types of like clay pigeon type of shooting, right?
yeah,
There's sporting
there's
clays.
you got sporting clays, you got trap. Trap is just a trap house that comes out and it goes straight left or right. So it's pretty straightforward on trap.
Okay.
Sporting
Okay.
clays, you got all kinds of different stations. So it's you may have a station that's throwing a clay like it's rolling, like a rabbit hopping around. You might
Oh,
have
Oh,
one that throws it way out. You might have one that comes right at your face.
oh,
Um, but there's different ways. It's similar to, I shouldn't say similar because it's not. Skeet is fast paced. You got to be quick with moving a gun for that. But that's you're at different stations. You sit different ways shooting, but it's very consistent with the way that Skeet works. But there's, Personally, sporting clays is my favorite just because
Yeah.
it's the most realistic when it comes time to bird hunting. Obviously, it's not
Okay.
nearly the same as bird hunting because bird hunting is always going to be different than shooting
Mm-hmm.
an orange little target flying through the air.
Well, if
Yes.
you're gonna hunt ethically, this is practice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, for
And,
sure, it's
and
definitely helping with your shooting mobility or your shooting
Right.
skills.
Yep. And I remember last year when we were there, I didn't shoot, but I did do some walking around and kind of watching a little bit, like when you
Yeah.
were shooting and when Nate was. And what I noticed is that it was kind of like the setting was kind of like as if you were in the woods and there was a walking path between stations. And
Hmm.
so for a lot of it was kind of like the woods was the backdrop, right? So it wasn't like a wide open field or anything like that. Maybe
Yeah,
there
it was
was a
super nice.
station or two that was kind of like that. But yeah, it was just kind of like you're in the woods and
Mm-hmm.
they have all these little stations that they're tossing the clay pigeons out of, and yeah, it seemed like a good time. I think we're
Yeah.
definitely going to have to give it a try this year.
Yeah. Sweet.
I second that. It'd be nice to have you guys out there and try it.
Nice. I can
Yeah.
show you how to do it.
He's already talking smack.
Yeah, you know
As
what what that means? That means you're not going to
How?
shoot one.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. We're super excited for that event and what you guys do. And, hopefully we can, get some more people out there for you to help support a really cool organization that's, changing lives for the better. I really think,
Oh yeah.
some people might not think that, getting outdoors is a necessity, but I think that if you talk to anybody who is an outdoorsman or loves the outdoors, you'll quickly realize that no, it actually is a necessity, right? Being able to experience those things is a lot of times something that they really need to be able to do, and be out in the woods and be able to experience that. So it's pretty amazing that you guys are helping people still be able to experience that. And so we'd love to be able to help you guys out and get some more people out there. So go sign up. If you want to shoot, go sign up. If you just want to support and have some lunch, you could do that too. As always, go to the website and there'll be spots for donations and things like that to help support these guys because they're
Yep.
doing some pretty amazing things out here.
And I do want to throw in one more thing. Total Defense is where we get all of our guns from. They're
Excellent.
they've been supporting us since day one.
Nice.
But they're right in Ramsey.
Yeah.
They're a big time supporter of us, and they're a small business. So I mean, anytime anybody can go support them, and please do. I know they'd appreciate it.
Nice.
We like to support the local businesses around us. Is what we strive for. I mean, the Anoka Legion Riders, they do a bike ride for us, which they'll be doing here on the second Saturday in July. I think it's
Okay.
Nice.
Can we
that's
find a lot of
when.
this info like on your website or if we follow you
Oh
on
yeah,
socials?
or even look us up on social media too on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook is where a lot of stuff gets posted.
Okay.
So it's Disabled Outdoorsman Minnesota,
Yeah.
but
No problem.
you'll be able to see anything on there for upcoming stuff. If we don't get it sent out via email to our members, or sometimes it doesn't make it on the website, we'll get it on social media because I mean social media spreads so fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Well,
So
Darren, life tried to slow you
awesome,
down, but
man.
you're still living in the fast lane,
That's
so we
right.
love it. It's great to see. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Nope, I
And
appreciate it, guys.
heck yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you and all that you're doing out there, and this really cool things that you guys keep pushing forward, right? And it's all what it's all about, just living the fast lane, making it happen.
Yep. So it'd be great to see some of you new faces out at the event on the
Yes.
17th. I'll definitely go online and register and get out there. Even if you've never done it before, you're still welcome, right? Let's go do this. Let's have a good time. Let's get some of these other guys out in the woods and in the lakes and having a good time. And it's what it's all about.
Each other out.
Signing off. You guys stay in that fast lane.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Thank you.
So
All right, stay there, Darren.